Hello, friends, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Squad Pod. I'm Manic Jr. Joining me, hot dropping into the podcast this week, he's stressed out over his Xbox Series X while at work, trying to order it. Washburn, how's it going, Washburn?
Good, dude. Yeah, we'll talk about pre-orders in a little bit, but yeah, we'll see if it comes, dude. I've got my Amazon voucher, so that's all I can do.
And yes, there are new games that we all want to play, but our next guest would rather Plock. What is Plock? Who knows? What's up, Kevin Asax?
God, let me tell you about Plock right now, dude. Let me tell you about Plock. It's a game that I used to play when I was a kid, and I found it and I grabbed it, and I was like, man, this game is still hard to beat. How can I beat it? Still fun though. Platformer. You throw your limbs to attack people.
Yep. And it had like funny comments at the end of every level, and it was cracking me up.
Yeah,
just absolutely cracking me up.
it's something that were kind of like had some adult humor, and I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah.
They put that in the kid game. Actually, what is
Wait,
it?
is this a real thing we're talking about?
Yeah, it is. It's an SNES game, and
Okay.
Kevin was like trying to get it to work and having to like blow in the cartridge and stuff.
I was like, come on, dude, it's gotta work. I'm gonna embarrass myself here.
It was a good time though. This week we're just gonna talk about a bunch of stuff that we missed last week. We got a bunch of stuff we played and a bunch of games we want to talk about, and we want to talk a little bit about pre-ordering the next generation. You guys want to start out with your PS5 experiences?
Oh man, that was a mess, huh?
It was a shit show. There we go. I said it.
Yeah, it was. So we'll start off with. I think we all got one. So,
Everyone that wanted one. I didn't get one because I didn't.
Okay.
Order
Yeah,
one.
so everybody that tried to order one eventually did get through.
Mm-hmm.
For me, myself, I got them both on Amazon. The PS5 is on Amazon and the Xbox Series X. I also got both of the emails for both consoles that was just like, hey, you may or may not get this whenever it comes. So we'll see. But yeah, the PS5, both of them were messy. The PS5, I would say even more so because you had Walmart out there kind of like, hey, you know what? We're not going to make you wait until tomorrow. Check this out, and that dropped. And then sites just sort of gradually dropped over that evening. And we were all sort of sitting here together, glued to Wario 64's Twitter, just trying to hit every site that we could as it was happening. And I wasn't successful till Amazon.
I think most people weren't because we were streaming at that point and someone dropped a link, Amazon link, and I think pretty much everyone clicked on it.
So that happened. Yeah, like Mike, I think it was Mike was streaming and somebody in his chat was like, yo, Amazon just went live. We all went over there and got one. And then like 2 minutes after we got them, it was gone.
They were all gone.
Yeah. But I mean,
the funny thing about that is that I saw it first. I didn't tell anyone. I wanted to pre-order mine first. So I was gonna tell you guys, but then I saw John B put in the chat. And I'm like, all right, we're good. They got the thing.
I respect that play, Kevin. I do.
I think JD managed to get one through Best Buy, or Walmart. I think Walmart.
Yeah.
He managed to get one through. So he was successful there. A lot of people weren't. But man, it was just a mess. It was just such a mess of a pre-order sort of debacle. I don't even know what you call it. And I think everybody's like, well, it's not on Sony. It's not on Sony. It's on the retailers. No, it's on Sony. Sony never had a date or a time laid out that they said, this is when pre-orders are going live. And I think Sony just said, hey, retailers, here's sort of this 24-hour window where you can put them up. And it turns out Walmart was the first one. And then they sort of trickled throughout the evening. And it was just such a tough experience and a stressful experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think the clip that I clipped out of Mike's VOD of reacting to the PlayStation thing of like, what are you talking about? You didn't tell us anything. Like they like did not during the show tell anyone like when they could pre-order the thing.
Yeah, and then Jeff Keighley goes on Twitter and starts putting out more information than was presented to us in the Sony conference. So
Yeah,
that was
wild.
on that's on Sony. For me, the reason I say it's a stressful experience is because like I'm finally in a time in my life where I'm lucky enough to be able to get a console at launch. I've never ever before ever had a console at launch.
Me
Like
neither.
every console I've ever gotten was, maybe 6 months to a year after the fact.
Same.
And so for me, I wanted one, man. I want them both. So I'm glad that I did get my Amazon voucher for both of them. We'll see.
Whether it shows up day one or not.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't expect it to. I honestly, I won't expect. Yeah, I it could never come. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So I'll know that I have one when the money gets taken out of my bank account and I have the hey, this thing is shipped email.
For sure.
Other than that, I mean, I've done everything I can do, which is pre-order and get a confirmation number, which means absolutely nothing. So we'll see. But yeah, I would say
Kevin?
the Sony one was tough.
Kevin, did you get the same like you might get one
Yeah,
when you get one?
yeah. I got it
Email?
for 2 of the PS5s I pre-ordered because I got a digital and I got a disc version. Because I was like, you know what, might as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about maybe flipping it, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I'll just give it to someone who like needs it, and then it gets pre-order.
And I think that's what I know. My friend JD got 2 PS5s because we have friends who are gamers, that aren't tuned in. You know what I mean? That aren't going to be glued to Wario 64's Twitter, but they're going to want a PS5. So it's good to be able. Some people we know were able to get multiple systems and are going to be able to hit up our friends and not like that are glued to Twitter and hyper tuned in, but are going to want those consoles. They'll be able to get those because I know JD got 2. I think Flurple got a handful of Xboxes.
Oh yeah, just wait until that part.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're the type of people who are just gonna flip them for profit, but yeah, we'll see.
We shall. On to Xbox. Xbox happened at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, so 8 a.m. Pacific, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we all hopped into voice chat and we're chatting it up while we tried to. It was actually hilarious. I wish could have heard us just going on and on, Washburn. It was really funny.
Yeah, I was there. I had work,
Yeah.
as I imagine a lot of people did, because it dropped 8 a.m. Pacific time, which 10 a.m. my time, 11 a.m. East Coast time, and
yeah,
that's kind of the middle of the day. So I did get in the chat. I just muted and deafened y'all, but y'all could see me sitting at my desk, just like rapidly clicking, trying to get that thing, and it wasn't a smooth process either. I mean,
definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really sit here and say, oh, the Xbox got their messaging right. The execution just wasn't there. And like I don't know if that's on the retailers or on Xbox or what. I know the Microsoft store had problems. And again, I ended up getting mine through Amazon within that little 2-minute window where it was available. And apparently right after I got my Series X through Amazon, like the next minute it was gone. So I guess maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I'm not, but I don't know what y'all's experience was like there on the Xbox front.
I just kind of stuck to Microsoft the whole time and just kept on like trying to work my way around their website and go through different links to see if it affected getting something into the cart successfully, and eventually it worked, and then all of a sudden I could just check out like relatively easily. It was mostly a patience game, as Flurple liked to say the whole time as he ordered however many consoles he ordered.
Yes.
And I'm gonna buy it. Like, if Flurple does end up getting the extra Series S, I probably will buy it off of him because I want it. I think that's a cool little box, so.
I ordered a Series S actually, so I do not. I'm just gonna have one, and it's gonna be the Series S. I can put my old Xbox up on my 4K TV if I want to.
Yeah.
Since I got the Pro or whatever.
Mm-hmm. That's part of me is excited to get these new consoles so that my One X can just sort of become my 4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
I can sort of retire that as my 4K Blu-ray player and not have to move it around if I want to play on a big TV or over here and stream it. So
yeah, and I usually just play games on my 1080p monitor that I'm currently using,
right.
so
Mm-hmm.
it's fine.
So Kevin, what about you? Where did you get your Xbox from?
I got mine.
Did you get more than one?
Yeah, I got more than one. And I mean, might as well, right? I was doing it all over the place. But I got mine from Amazon as well. The Series X from Amazon and the Series S at Microsoft. And I was really trying because I just wanted to see how it all worked with the all access. Man, I was not able to do any of them like on any website that they offered that, which really sucked. I really wanted that.
I tried to click through the all access a few times, but it didn't.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like at any point between now and the release, and if they announce more releases, more consoles out there for pre-order, and you can use all access, I might just do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I really need the Series X now. When I think about it, well, I don't know. I mean, what game am I gonna play in that I really need all that cool like looking specs and stuff like that, like 20 frames per second and stuff like that.
Dirt 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dirt 5. What is it? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I guess Cyberpunk. No, but
I think
the
next gen update is coming later than release day, I guess.
And let's be honest. Like, let's all be honest with each other.
None of us need this.
These. None of us need
correct.
Yeah. The only like if you look at the launch title, there is I think outside of Demon Souls, which they haven't confirmed is coming to PS4, there is nothing that is launch exclusive to the generation that I'm aware of.
I think that's right.
Am I wrong? Like
I don't think you're wrong.
Because I know Spider-Man's coming to PS4. Even Horizon, like 6, however many months from now, is going to come to PS4. None of us need these. This is like a luxury item that I want really badly, and I'm sort of the type of person, and we've talked about it before. Like when Miles Morales does come out, I want the best version of it that I can get, and that's going to be on the PS5. Same thing with Assassin's Creed. And I know like the best version is probably going to be on PC, right? But I would rather spend $500 on an Xbox than $500 on a 3070 and then have to get more RAM, and then maybe my motherboard's not compatible and then have to upgrade my CPU and go through that whole process. But
for sure,
for me, console gaming is just easier, even though I do have a PC that's probably capable. Even like, I don't know if y'all have seen the specs for Cyberpunk.
Mine's capable of running it. I'm probably still going to get it on my Xbox Series S.
And I know that even the Cyberpunk next gen edition upgrade's not coming out. I don't even think they've put a date on that.
No, it just says they said later on.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get it on the Series X because for me, console gaming is just easier. I just got the Elite controller behind me in its case over there, and I love it. And I just like being able to bring that over to the Series X is gonna be really cool as well. And I'm excited for it, man. And I know people tell me, oh, it's just like, the velocity architecture, all that stuff's just its marketing ploy. But just let me have this one. You know what I mean?
Quick Resume's going to be great.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm excited for the box. I'm excited for both boxes. And we'll see when they get here, if they live up to the hype, because 2020 has been a crappy year, and maybe this can be something that that brings it up for all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When it comes to like these giant open world single player experiences, I guess my thing is like I could play it on my PC and I could put it on the highest settings and all that, but at the same time, I'm still going to use a controller at the end of the day, so might as well just play it on my Xbox. Then if I want to stream it, I don't have to worry about resource managing
right
the graphics capabilities of the video game.
And I'm really excited to see what the load times are like and just kind of see the differences between, an Xbox version or a Series X version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla versus, what load times were like when I played Odyssey a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
It's exciting to think about, and I'm excited for both boxes. I really am.
Just a question for both of you. I know that we all like Assassin's Creed here. Do you feel like you're going to pick up Assassin's Creed immediately with Cyberpunk being right there?
Yeah, I do, because I think Assassin's Creed is going to be the showpiece. I really do. I think when these next gen consoles launch, I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla is really going to be the check this out type of software where it's like, oh man, I can jump from one end of the world to the other,
And it loads
with
quickly.
virtual, like, no loading, and it's going to have that ray tracing. It's going to be optimized for that box, and I'm excited to see what that's like. And I know Cyberpunk's going to be gorgeous, and even though it's not like, even though Cyberpunk's not going to be it's not going to be the next gen version, I imagine it will still run better on the Series X than it would on a 1X. So we'll see. I'm excited for both games, and man, just thinking about this fall and like all the games that we're staring at right now, and it's nuts. I was looking at just sort of games that are coming out this year still list last night, and I
It's
was
pretty
like,
good.
oh my god, how am I gonna make it through this? Because it's a lot. And even Watch Dogs, it's like, yeah, I want to try that. Like that, I want to try it. Like I really liked Watch Dogs 1, and I enjoyed 2 enough. And this one looks kind of goofy and silly, and I'm excited to try that. Squadrons comes out next week.
Yep.
And
This
then
coming
the
week.
big
Yeah.
this week. Yeah, I guess. And then the big ones, Valhalla and Cyberpunk, are gonna eat up a lot of hours, I'm sure.
Kevin, what's your thought? Are you getting them both at the beginning, or are you just gonna choose one, play it, and then when you're done with that, switch?
We'll see how the money comes in, because I have enough for one, and that's what I was hoping for, the all access. That I want to spend on both, but we'll see. I kind of want. I do want both. I just want. I guess I want the new thing in my house.
No, I meant at Valhalla or Cyberpunk. Are you gonna go get both of those day one, or are you gonna wait on one of them? Since it's gonna be like my thing is like, it's gonna be a time sink. I'm gonna put more hours into Cyberpunk at this point, and I have a habit of playing Assassin's Creed games 1 to 2 years after they come out for the entire release schedule of all of the Assassin's Creeds that I've ever played. So
I'm gonna wait on Valhalla because I still haven't played Origins or Odyssey. So
see, I was like
Fair
that,
enough.
Maddock, until I played Odyssey.
I mean, I've played Odyssey a little bit, but
Odyssey is fantastic.
it was still definitely a year after it came out, I think.
I played Odyssey around when it launched, because I didn't play Origins when it launched.
Yeah,
but
I didn't play Origins at all.
Like I had heard like everybody really talk this up, and when I did eventually go to try it before Odyssey came out, I was like, oh wow, they really revolutionized the gameplay, the leveling system. They totally changed the formula in Assassin's Creed and how all that works. And I really dug that. I didn't dig the setting so much. But when Odyssey came out, I was like, oh, it's gonna play like Origins, which is awesome, because I love that gameplay, and the setting is just like ancient Greece, which is really cool.
Yeah, that game is beautiful.
Yeah,
and vast, very vast.
Yeah, and I really, really liked Odyssey. So yeah, I'm hoping that Valhalla sort of captures the same magic for me. And what I've seen from Valhalla, it does. Like I'm not like 100% sold on it yet. I don't know about Vikings, and if that's gonna catch me. The same way Cassandra did. But we'll see. I mean, I'm excited, and like I said, I think the main reason I'm getting it is because I think it is going to be sort of that graphic showcase and really showcase the hardware and what it can do.
For sure, that should be good. But we will see.
Yeah, so I'm probably getting Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I am too.
Plus, I
I
also
think
have.
I just want to play Cyberpunk more at this point, and I don't want to be like, oh, flipping between two, and then I just want to like crush through one kind of.
I also have the collector's edition pre-ordered for Cyberpunk, which I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
I
I
might
forgot
have
about
money for that after these two consoles. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if I just
Yeah.
work my ass off
Yes.
next month or two.
Yeah, I'm excited. Have y'all seen like anything from Cyberpunk? Like, have y'all watched the Night City Wires and stuff like that?
I have.
Seen like a little bit here and there. I'd really just want to wait until the game comes out.
So I've only seen the one that they did that was about the
gangs.
the three. No, I saw like the gangs part of the gangs one, and then I sort of fast forwarded through the rest, skimmed through it. I didn't really watch it, but
You saw the what's it called?
I
The
saw the
path.
ones with about the 3 starting areas.
Yeah, the 3 path you can choose. Yeah.
And that one was super interesting to me because it's just like, ooh, like these are all very different. So I was
Yeah, it's
wondering
like,
if
how
y'all
do I
had
decide?
I was wondering if y'all had thought about what you were going to go in as, you know, starting to start the game.
I have thought about it, and I feel like the Nomad one, the Fast and the Furious Mad Max looking dudes out in the desert, might be a less popular one. I kind of want to go with one of the less popular ones so that if I do end up streaming it and people tune in, they'll see something different than everyone else's.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Matt. Not for the same reason, but I really liked Nomad.
Yeah, it looked cool.
Like I felt like Street Kid will probably be more beneficial, just in terms of like dialogue and dealing with certain lingo. Because like, you know, depending on where you start, you get different dialogue options, and your character knows more about certain things. But I was attracted to the Nomad option because it was like, oh, you're really going from point A to point B. Like, and that's the part of that was attractive to me, is like, oh, we're starting out here in these badlands and eventually going to work our way up to Night City, which I thought that was super dope. And for me, the corporate one just didn't interest me at all.
That one didn't seem particularly interesting. Kevin, did you have any opinions?
I think I might just do Street Kid. I want to see the city right away.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't want to be in a desert land.
I'm still flip flopping between Street Kid and Nomad.
I think I'll do Street Kid and then Nomad and then the business person guy. That one looks kind of not too interested.
I just like to. Well, maybe I'll choose corporate then if everyone's choosing the other ones. I just like to get like the different perspective. That if like everyone else is having the same experience, I want to see like how different it is.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for Cyberpunk.
All right. This week or last week, I don't know which week, one of these weeks, we played a little bit of Hot Shot Racing, which is on Game Pass. I would say it is a game smash. If you have friends to play with, especially. It's a old style arcade racer with you build up boost by drifting. It's kind of like Mario Kart, take away the items. And you just drift and boost, kind of a deal. I had a great time personally racing all of you and playing a little bit of the single player. What did everyone else think?
It's so fun. I like the game so much. Like I was playing it even like alone too, doing the arcade things, and it was just really fun. Like I figured out how to play the game. I know how to get boost quickly. I know what card to choose. I was like, man, this game is really fun. I'm like, I want to just keep on racing, just try every car if I can, and see if I can get like first place in every race with that. And it's just, I don't know, God, it's so simple. It's such a simple game too. You really don't need to know too much of the controls, so it's like easy to play, and anyone can just jump in if you have Game Pass. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, I would agree with both of you. I think it's this absolute smash. If I was like a professional games critic, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to rate a game, this game gets a 9 or a 10. You know what I mean? Because it like
achieves what it goes after
it,
to achieve.
It is perfect at what it does. And when you look at the game from like a just base level, it doesn't present itself as this big sort of deep experience. But then if you dive into it, it's like, oh my God, look at all these customization options.
Yeah,
look at all these
crazy.
characters with all their cars. There's like, I think 16 tracks to start off with in the game, with maybe more to come. And
And they're
free
all
on,
pretty much based on real cars with no branding.
yeah,
It's very cool.
and free on Game Pass, which is super cool. Oh, here's some jabroni joining the chat right now. Who is?
It's your boy Mike ready to join the squad.
Oh,
Shut
he's
up.
ready to join
Tom's
the squad.
Oh,
Look,
dang.
returns, dude. Wow.
What's up? What are we talking about? Let's jump right
We're
into it. I'm
talking
ready.
about
We're
Hot
talking
Shot
Shot Racing.
Ooh, Hot Shot Racing was pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
I
look at
mean,
that.
yeah, just to sort of like finish off, where I was at is just like, yeah, it's perfect at what it tries to do, and if you have Game Pass, that just try this, try it. Like, there's nothing to lose by trying it. It's a small download, um, and it like Kevin said, I had a ton of fun with this, and I could see myself dumping some hours into it, and I would highly recommend it. Mike, what about you? What are your thoughts on Hot Shot Racing?
Man, right on the spot. I think everything you just said is perfect, right? It's on Game Pass. There's no reason not to try it. And it's a fun, arcadey, drift and turbo style racer that is fun for all ages. You can show it to anybody, and it's got multiplayer with your friends. It's a pretty awesome game. I love it.
Not hard to figure out. It's just like go and that's it.
And it's like it comes down to like who has a boost right at the end. It's like come around the last turn and everyone just like jams. If you have 2 boosts, you're probably gonna win. If you have 1, you have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have none, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, another thing that I didn't shout out is just 8 players. You know what I mean?
Love
Like,
that.
love that. And like we've talked about this before, and I've said it before. Like, that's something I look at now as a person who is lucky enough to be in a position where we can fill lobbies. You know what I mean? And so
for sure.
being able to fill a lobby with 8 is a big deal, especially in these types of games where you could really classify this as sort of a party game, and it does have those different modes like cops and robbers and drive to you explode and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to 8-player lobbies and not putting you at that cap of 4 like so many games do.
For sure. And then I just wanted to touch on games that I've been playing this week. Oh, do you have something else, Kevin?
I got something else.
Okay.
I don't know how precise you need to be in this game, but Mike, when you tried it on cloud gaming with Xbox, whatever it's called now, how was it? Was it
ran quite well? It was a little bit of input lag, Kevin, is what I would call that on the precise turning, but I think you could get away with this one.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It seems like it gives you a lot of leeway to, like, if you make a mistake on a turn, you can kind of like catch back up, even though like you kind of mess up. So and no matter what, you can catch up because of the slipstream too. So
I don't want to like derail us, and get into that cloud conversation, but I also played Forza on the cloud, and I did not have a great time with it. But I feel like this one could work better as a racer because, like Kevin said, like you do have a little bit of leeway, and you are able to sort of, even if you do mess up, you can get back into things. Whereas Forza, it's like, if you crash a lot, you're just going to end up rewinding over and over and over, and that's not a whole lot of fun.
That makes sense. Yeah. All right, so I played 2 other racing games this week quite a bit. One I streamed for a couple hours on Wednesday, The Art of Rally, and it is a Lonely Mountain downhill style art style, I would say. And I mean, it's definitely a little bit less square than Lonely Mountain, but the backgrounds and the scenery are incredible. The car models are fantastic, and it takes you through from I think the 60s until the 90s, and it's like a career mode, and you go every year and you do like a couple of races, and every year or every set of years, so like the 60s and then the 70s and the 80s, you get a different set of cars that you can use. And it's definitely like a difficult game, and I mean, it's not too bad in terms of beating the AI, but if you like go look at the leaderboards, it gets a little out of control.
This looks awesome, man.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I just looked it up, dude. This looks like it would be a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I totally get what you're saying with that lonely downhill style. Yeah.
They have like snow levels. They have ones that are like near the sea. They've got ones in Japan with like the pink trees. It's very, very cool. The one thing that took some getting used to and was very frustrating in the beginning is there's like 3 separate settings for how the car kind of handles. There's like a counter steer option, a anti-lock braking option, and one other, and it's all percentages. So I was just like messing with them for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 races before I kind of got the hang of it, and I felt like I could successfully navigate the course.
This is hot.
Yeah,
this
it's very
looks
cool.
like a whole
This
lot
looks
of fun.
super dope.
What is it
people.
called?
The Art of
Art
Rally.
of Rally.
Yeah, this looks really cool. Like you said, it has that Lonely Mountain feel, and then like the beauty of it, and what this is probably going to feel like right now as you're drifting all over the place looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try this.
And
Yeah,
what is
it's,
this on?
I'm playing on Epic Store. I'm not. I think it's on something else as well.
It's on
I bought it on
Steam,
Epic.
and GOG.
Okay, yeah, I bought it on Epic because I had one of those $10 coupons, and it was like
So
on sale for
essentially.
$22. Yeah,
Yeah.
PC.
and I was using my controller the whole time.
Oh, I'm going
And it
to
worked pretty
definitely
well.
play this now.
Oh, does
Does
look-
this have
Yeah.
any sort of multiplayer option? So, like, is it time trials? Is it just time trials?
The career mode's kind of just like your. I mean,
You
it's
got a
like
bus.
rally. Yeah, there's a bus. So rally is like a time trial thing in general, as like a racing sport
Right.
for the most part, except if you get into like what I'll talk about in a second with dirt. There's like 6 car races sometimes, but the standard thing is like you start like 5 seconds, 10 seconds apart, and as you go along, there's checkpoints, and it will tell you how far behind you are, ahead or behind you are, and then so the leaderboards on the internet are obviously like just all over the place, but you could definitely like find your friends and stuff, your Epic friends on the leaderboards, so that would be cool. I don't think there's any like other multiplayer type of deal.
Yeah, this looks really, really fun.
Oh yeah. How much
It's
was
definitely it was like $20, and I had like the $10.
it?
So do you like it then?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's very good. I got like very addicted to it while I was like streaming it, and I like got the hang of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this. And I played through the whole set of 60s, and then like 3 or 4 races into the 70s. Then yesterday or the day before, I went back and beat the 70s, and now I'm in the 80s, I think, or something like that.
Yeah,
But
we've all played like games, racing games, sort of like this, where it is that sort of top-down isometric view. You know what I mean? And those are always a lot of fun. And this looks like it sort of takes that and twists it up a little bit. And it does look like Lonely Mountains, where I'm just gonna sit there and bash my head against the wall, but still love it. So
there's
I'm
also
all the way in on this.
a photo mode in this video game, and it is very extensive. So you can definitely get some cool shots because there's like all the camera settings that you could possibly want, and like filters and stuff too. And then because I started playing that game, I was like, you know what? I need to download Dirt 3 again. And so I started playing Dirt 3 a whole bunch. Got to the X Games earlier today. That game's it's just such a good racer. It gets me very excited for Dirt 5. I didn't enjoy Dirt 4 as much because it was a little bit more of a serious thing. And Dirt 3 and Dirt 2, you kind of just jump between races. You don't have to worry about buying cars or anything. It's just like, oh, this is the one that you're sponsored by and you earn more reputation for. So I just had a really good time with both of those games this week.
Now,
I want to touch on that.
Is Dirt Rally sort of an offshoot of those?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
it's like the
Dirt 1 through
harder
5
core.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
so
I
Dirt
think
Rally is going to be more difficult.
Yeah, I've heard Dirt Rally referred to as the Dark Souls of racers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was wondering if that like the same is true for just the mainline Dirt games.
The dark soul of racers. Imagine somebody saying that to you, man. You know the first thing I'd say to them, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like somebody walks up to you and is like, yo, bro, I know this game. It's the dark souls of racing games. The first words out of my mouth would be, nah, I'm cool. See you, bro.
I'm not sure if it's still on Game Pass, but Dirt Rally is on Game Pass if anyone wants to give it a try. I haven't yet. Or it was on Game Pass.
That's Codemasters, right? Making
wait,
correct.
You guys say Dark Souls? Wait, so like, what? I don't think I've ever seen Dirt or Dirt being played. What's so special about this?
From what
It's
I
just
understand,
off-road racing mostly,
yeah,
and
from
then
what I
dirt
understand
rally
about
is
Dirt Rally is if you mess up, then you just
you
have to
just
restart. Like you have to have like perfect runs every time.
Okay. It's
yeah
more, yeah, okay, I get it. So it's more difficult to drive and you got to be more precise and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
for sure. All right, that's all I got on the racing front. You guys also played a game called Lava recently.
Hot
How did
lava.
that go?
Hot lava.
Hot lava.
It was hot.
It was fun.
It was hot.
Yeah. Again, shout out to 8 players.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this is a silly little game. You know what I mean? This isn't something that's gonna blow your socks off. But it is a fun little romp if you're just looking, for something to do for a few hours. If you're sitting there saying I've had enough Fall Guys or Warzone, I just want to kick back and try something new and where I'm not going to be going up against sweaty, try hard kids. This is a fun little game. Basically, the premise is you're a small being. I don't even know if
You're
I
a
guess you're a
kid.
toy.
You're a kid.
Okay, a kid.
Yeah. It's just like your
And,
imagination. That's why you look different. So like the kids imagine him, he'd be
yeah, but everything around you's big.
Yeah.
Like so like you're a kid, but you're still like a miniature, toy sized kid. Um, and you go into these levels like there's a hub world. Each hub world has 6 7 levels maybe. Um, and when you go into the world, the levels in the hub world, like that you go through, like everything is in school. Everything's like around school. So there's like gymnasium, there's playground, and when you go into these levels, everything on the floor turns into lava, and you have to sort of navigate your way across. And that's the premise. And it's really fun, and it's fun to sort of do this with your friends and try to see who can get the best time. Go from point A to point B, but other than that, I don't have a ton to say on it. It is fun.
Kevin, Mike, anything to add?
I played this way before we hopped on together, and when I played it, we only had that gym level as one of the obstacle course we could go to. So the gym, it was a school pretty much, but we didn't really. I don't think we had a hub world back when I got it. So it was interesting seeing like a lot more levels now, and like the controls still felt the same. I think they added the power ups, which was something new. Like was it double jump? We didn't have that before. It was only like a single jump we had. But everything played the same, and I don't remember if anything else changed. I don't think they added anything new to it besides the levels and the power ups. But I like this game a lot. When I played it back when I got it, it was really fun playing with one of my friends. I think it also felt a bit difficult too back then because I think we had to like land on precise spots in the in the level, so I think it was a bit harder there. But most of it was the same. Like a lot of they reused a lot of the levels again, which makes sense, and it's fun. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fun time. This is a fun game with up to 8 friends. It's essentially the floor is lava. That's all it is. You just run around with your friends, try to get to the end of the zone, and it's a blast, right? You're laughing, you're jumping around, you're banging into each other, you're trying cool and new difficult routes. I think this is a really cool game, and I'm happy we found it. That was just like some weird game that was recommended to me on my Steam's game list, and I was like, well, why not? And bang, we clicked on it and we tried it, and it was a blast.
Yeah, and it's like Mike brings it up, different routes. Like when you are going through these levels, like there is no like they give you a checkpoint. You hit a checkpoint, there's another one in front of you, but there might be 3 or 4 ways to go. So it is an interesting, well designed handful of levels. And um like Kevin said, the power ups, like one girl has a double jump and one guy has like he can like slide jump and gain momentum. And
Nice.
yeah, so I think it performs really well. That's another thing I wanted to bring up is like on PC it was smooth as butter, consistent, 120 frames or whatever you're going for. So yeah, it's a good one, and I would recommend trying it if you have 8 friends and you're trying to just sort of take an off night and play something silly and fun.
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking for that party game with your friends for just a dumb night, an hour to 3 hours, this is the answer for sure. This was a good game.
All right. Speaking of party games, you guys also played a little bit of Humans Fall Flat, and I heard it was a hilariously fun time.
That game is so dumb and so fun.
Yeah.
It's just dumb fun. That game is great. That's a good game.
I haven't laughed that hard in quite some time. Trying to just get to the end of those levels. So like I don't even know if I've ever played any. My Alexa's talking to me. I don't know if I've ever played anything this physics based. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it's Gang Beast with puzzles. Like I don't. Gang Beast is physics based, but like this is like a whole new level. You know what I mean? If it's so hard to like explain, but like you can run around and grab things and like try to move them around, and it's so hard to just sort of finagle your guy in there the exact right way without falling down or dropping like this hook or trying to like hook onto like light poles where you can swing off of them and stuff like that. It's hilarious, and what's hilarious about it is people sort of betraying each other in order to be the first one across. um it's hilarious, and visually it's hilarious, and I think that's where a lot of the charm comes from, is sort of seeing your guys fall down and hanging on to your friends for dear life and begging for them to pull you up while they just try to like back up off the ledge. And it's a really, really fun time.
Any other thoughts, or just a real fun time?
I don't
Well
know.
worth it?
Yeah, I think it's just a fun time, right? Like I think it's one of those where it's like I'll play that for a night. I don't know if I'll go back to it ever again, but it is simple. It's fun. Be great with the family. Be great with the couch full of friends for sure. It's a fun one night run through. I don't know if I'd ever go back to it again, but it was a good time. I laughed at it the whole time.
Yeah, it's a lot of laughter. A lot of laughter.
Now to pivot to a much, much different game. Washburn and I have been playing a little bit of Hades. I think Kevin has yet to start it, and Mike has not tried it yet. Correct, Mike?
No, I played it last night.
Playing it last night.
Oh, you played it last night?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is everyone's impressions of Hades so far?
Game's hot. Red hot. Game's hot.
Red hot.
Red hot. This game
Hotter
is
than
super,
hell.
This game is super dope. This game looks cool. It plays cool, and it is cool. Play straight up.
It's a game of the year contender. No doubt about that in my mind. This will be talked about possibly at the Game Awards. Could be even nominated for Game of the Year. It's perfect. Like this game it's so much fun to play. If you liked Dead Cells, you're gonna love this. And what I love about this is it's a roguelike, whatever you want to call it. But it's one with the story. So after each run, like you're going and you're talking to the character that might have killed you, or you go and you kill this boss, you might see her hanging out in the hub before you go on your next run. You go up to her and talk to her, and you're learning more about the character. And there's actual voice dialogue, and the voice acting's incredible. The soundtrack is just A plus. Visually, audibly, it shines, on in all facets, and it's just a banger, an absolute banger of a game.
I think okay. So I've played a little bit of it. I haven't played a game like this before, so I guess it's just my first time. So I'm still getting used to it a little bit.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure if I like this style of game yet, I guess is what my thoughts are. I've probably played 45 minutes to an hour so far, I would say. But I mean, it's interesting, but I also feel like I'm real terrible at it. But I just unlocked the shield, so I'm going to try and use that, see how that goes. Maybe I'll succeed a little bit easier with that one. I saw my good friend Alex Van Aken beat the game for the first time with the shield. So
the shield's my favorite weapon as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
shield's right now my favorite weapon. I haven't tried the bow. out yet, but out of the sword and the weird trident thing, I like the shield the most.
When I first unlocked the spear, I thought, "Oh, this is gonna be the one," because like the way that the spear works is you can throw it and recall it, sort of like the Leviathan axe. Um, but the shield is sort of like you can go for these like dash and bash builds where you're dashing around and your dash might deflect projectiles, and then you get like your dash attack leveled up with a boon, which are like power ups from specific Greek mythology characters. And so like you might have um Aphrodite come and give you like a dash that deflects something, and then Zeus comes in and is like, yeah, so now your dash is deflecting, but when you dash attack as well, it's gonna like chain lightning to everywhere around you. So like you can really dive in and specify your builds in very interesting ways. Um and each weapon is like that. So like each weapon's gonna have different abilities and ways that you could build around that with the power-ups that you're picking up along the way. So it's cool that there's so many different play styles. I think there's 6 different weapons. But I'm just running the shield. Like there's a shield, a spear, there's the fisticuffs, which are pretty cool. That's probably my second favorite weapon, just like armor, brass knuckles, essentially. You run around with. But yeah, the shield's gonna be my favorite for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to get back to everyone on how I feel after another hour or 2 of playing it probably, but
Yeah,
I'll
and
probably get into it at some point.
like you do, so like you're leveling up throughout the run, and then you die and you start over. That's what these games are, right?
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you're taking with you
Oh,
across
yeah.
runs.
I've started to upgrade some of those.
Right. So like if you get the keys, you're going to be able to unlock new weapons and new abilities at your mirror. If you get this like the gemstones, I think they're called like darkness, you can spend those and get new abilities. If you get these like other sorts of gemstones, I guess you can give them to like a builder who will like put healing fountains out in the world for you.
Oh,
So
nice.
so you are like doing things that are helping you over the course of the game as well. And before you know it, you're gonna be running through that first zone with like 0 issues.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, thankfully I had jumped into this kind of a situation before with Dead Cells and a
Mhm.
couple other games, and I had learned my lesson of being punished like this, you know? And what I'm really excited is I know I'm not good at these games. I just cleared the first zone with ease, like Washburn said. I've killed the first boss 3 times now and gone past her. So like I'm
Nice.
getting more confident, I'm getting better. But Flurple brought up one where it's called like God mode or something where
Mhm.
it's a little more ease of access and accessibility for people who really aren't into these games or have any sort of issues. They can kind of it boosts your damage reduction so you take less damage, right, Washburn?
Yeah.
And so
So
like you're hopefully going to stay alive longer than you normally
Mhm.
would every single time you die.
Right, and it's that you can turn that mode on if you just want to see through to the end. And what's so cool about that is it just like the story in this game is good. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like there's going to be people who are like, "Oh, I'm interested in this character now." And there's like like after each run you're finding out more and more about Zagreus, which is, the character that you're playing as, and sort of the family, in the house of Hades, and the relationships between all these sort of deities and where they come from and their background and stuff like that. And you can go in between each run and talk to these characters and learn more about them. You get like a codex every time you talk to a character. It unlocks a little bit more information about them in the codex. So if you are the type of person who just wants to like go in and see this through and see the story through, yeah, you can flip on that God mode. It starts you out with a 20% damage reduction, and then each time you die it boosts it up even more. So like it's going to make it easier for you over time if you are really struggling with the game, which is it's really cool. It's a cool thing for them to include that and understand like, hey, there might be some people that don't want to get punished but do want to see this story that we've put in here, because the story is really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's what a cool world, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it's beautiful, it's awesome, it's dangerous. And yeah, like, man, I keep circling back, like Washburn said, right? You start off and like I was running through my first couple runs with like 15 to 7 health, just dying, right? and then out of nowhere, you just get stronger and stronger every time, and you feel more confident to the point where like now I see these first guys, and I'm like, oh, here it comes, dude, and I just run them over immediately.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one of the best things I've played this year, if not maybe the best thing I've played this year, and it's a must buy. Like
Yeah, that's agreed.
that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely one of the top games I've played. I agree with that.
Now, for our next topic, glad to have the man, the myth, the legend, the 3-time announcer of Grand Poobah's Fall Mania, talk to us about the Fall Guys mid-season update and what he thinks of it.
Oh my gosh, is that what we're talking about? Heck
Yeah.
yeah, Maddock Jr. Oh wow. Talk about a breath of fresh air. Talk about right time, perfect moment to save Fall Guys for me. And I'm sure, just breathe more fresh air into it, right? For me, it saved
For
it
sure.
because we had been playing it 8 hours a day, 5 hours a day, nonstop, right? And we hit this point where it was like, hey, we need some new maps, we need some new modes, we need something new. And I don't know I didn't even know they were going to do this, but they came
I
in
didn't either.
and they saved the day with new variations of all the same maps that we already know and love. Nothing new, but different variations on those maps, and they are awesome. They're challenging, they're fun, and in my words, those saved Fall Guys here while we patiently await season 2 in October.
Yeah, I agree with you on the front that it's just needed. You know what I mean? Well, if you go back and listen to our conversations about Fall Guys when it first came out, we were all pretty much in agreement that for the game to stay alive and keep its legs, that it needed constant updates. You know what I mean? It needed new levels, it needed constant updates at a pretty fast clip. And we didn't get those. To be honest with you, we didn't get a whole lot of new levels. They put in Jump Showdown about a quarter away through the season, and it was going to get stale if they didn't put this sort of mid-season refresh in there and change up these levels a little bit. And so, yeah, good on them for sort of being able to sort of breathe some new life into it and keep the hype going, because it's still one of the most popular games out right now. And we've played it probably more than anything other than Warzone this year, I would say. So
Probably, yeah.
It's good for them to go in and sort of touch up these levels and not change the game completely, but change it just enough to keep you on your toes.
For sure. I would say it's a lot more chaotic than it used to be, and there's a lot more things that will mess you up than before. I feel like past a certain amount of hours, we kind of had, because we had played in the beta, like I had played like 8 or 10 hours of the beta, and then played probably like 10 or 15 hours overall, I guess, or something like that. We like knew how to get all the shortcuts and like get through all the obstacles in the easiest, quickest possible ways. And now it's just like so much more chaos. I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, any feelings on this?
Fun. I like the new variations. I like seeing something new all the time, pretty much at every level we go into. It wasn't like before where it's like, oh no, it's whirly gig. Whoa, I know how to do this like with my eyes closed by now. But now you have to like make sure like you gotta check the overview of the map when they show you the map, and make sure you know what's coming up and what's up ahead and stuff like that. Make sure you know what to do. That way you don't get lost and get left behind and you won't get eliminated. So I like all that. Makes it spice things up a bit, Maybe before the new season comes out, which I can't wait for the new season and have new maps down there too. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm liking it a lot.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with Kevin where like the variance is cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They didn't just
It's
change
not
the
even the
map.
same every time.
Right. Exactly. So like they didn't just change the map. They didn't just say like, oh, this is the new whirly gig. They said here's a variant of whirly gig that you might see from time to time. Here's 2 or 3 different kinds of fall ball that could pop up in any match, So yeah, it's really cool that like each thing got some different variants and you're not just going to get the same variant every time.
Yeah, it's I was actually very surprised that they added this in. Usually I like to give games a little bit leeway, especially during first seasons of like ongoing games such as Warzone, Apex, Spellbreak, because it's hard to like have everything set up and running well and all the bugs ironed out, and they've managed to insert some mid-season content into the first season, and I don't think very many games do that, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a difficult task to get everything lined up for just the second season, let alone like a refresh in the middle of a first season.
Yeah,
but it's awesome that they added that in for sure.
Yeah, with how big this game is, they had to. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
with something this big and this popular that's sort of taking the world by storm, like you have to keep that going. And I think they know, and Devolver Digital knows as well as Mediatonic, is that like, especially in the fall, our patience is worth a whole lot, and our gamers' time is worth a whole lot because there are so many releases right now, and if you don't keep that attention, people are just going to move on.
for sure. Now, to round out our conversations for the week, we have a few little Call of Duty topics to go over. One is the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Alpha that I believe all three of you may have played over on PlayStation. They kind of like, they're like, oh, there's a beta in the middle of October. And then they were like, oh, also there's an alpha this weekend at the PlayStation event. What did you guys think of the alpha?
I'm gonna say right now, everyone keeps saying it feels like Call of Duty. It doesn't really feel like the old Call of Duty, like the last one, which is
It doesn't
Modern
feel
Warfare.
like modern.
And
Okay.
it feels something about it. I always see this every time I play the Treyarch and Infinity War games. There's something like weird to it. Like the movement is weird and doesn't like for the Black Ops Cold War Alpha we played. I felt a bit bulkier. Like I couldn't move as much. And I don't know if it's because of that what's that called? That the sprint you do at the beginning of every sprint you do.
Tactical
Tactical
sprint.
sprint. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of that or something like that, but it felt different, and which I'm worried about on how they're gonna do Warzone in. Like, are they gonna keep the old mechanic from Modern Warfare for Warzone, or are they gonna put in this new gameplay mechanic for Warzone? So it's interesting, yeah. But yeah, it feels off. And then the time to kill for this game too takes a bit longer than Modern Warfare. It's interesting.
Yeah, I agree with everything Kevin said. And I think coming out of it, that was all of our biggest thoughts, or how is this going to affect Warzone? Because if this is the gameplay style that is going to be brought over, they're going to have to. Verdansk is gone. Like that.
Yeah.
There's no way that this gameplay style will work on Verdansk, because Verdansk is built around the gameplay of Modern Warfare, around the mounting and around the tactical sprint, and those two mechanics.
Oh, there's no mounting, right, in the alpha?
No, there's no mounting.
No mounting.
There's no tactical sprint, and like,
is there any doors? I heard someone say that there wasn't like any of the door
No
action.
doors,
that we
no
got.
no doors.
No
There's
busting through
doors.
doors or anything.
So there's a door here and there, but you can't like slam it open. It's just like
Right.
an obstacle you have to go around. Like
Mhm.
half the door is open, and the
Gotcha.
other side of the door is like too much.
Yeah,
Then
so Verdansk is gone. Like, if we were bringing the Cold War gameplay into Warzone, and it's not just going to stay the Modern Warfare gameplay that it is right now, it's going to have to be a totally new map. It has to. I just don't see how they could keep Verdansk with this gameplay. And they've said, we all know, like, whatever Call of Duty is going forward is going to be integrated into Warzone. So it's going to have to totally change the battle royale itself.
Do you really think so? It'll be very interesting to see, because like, who's building out Warzone then? Is it just going to stick with Raven, right? Like, it's not like they bring on this other team to start working on Warzone, right?
I mean,
Well,
Raven's partially working on Black Ops Cold War as well. So,
well,
I think
the
you've
Warzone
got,
people
with Call of Duty right now, you've got Infinity Ward and Treyarch as the two sort of big developers, and then there's Sledgehammer, and I believe Sledgehammer wrote the campaign for this one. And correct me if I'm mistaken. And
Did
then
they? I don't know.
on and
Okay.
I
then
thought Raven
so
might have
what
wrote
it
the
was it
campaign.
Raven or Sledgehammer that went to Treyarch and was like, "Yeah, we've got a really dope idea for a
Campaign.
a Cold War campaign."
I
Yeah,
think it was Raven.
one of those two. But like the point is, you've got your two big studios, and then you have like Raven and Sledgehammer that are doing a lot. B Knox is one of those studios as well that are doing a
They
lot
do
of
the
like
PC port.
supporting work behind the scenes, making sure the battle royale is good, making sure the online stuff is good. Where and it's hard to explain because there are so many studios that work on Call of Duty. You know what I mean? When you start up Modern Warfare now, yeah, you get the big Infinity Ward splash, and then you get a splash of like 6 other studios that
Yeah.
are like, oh, we did this too, and it's just like, well, who made what? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, like if they're gonna go with this style of gameplay with the health bars that are there now, with the time to kill, with the no mounting, with the no tactical sprint, no doors, and strip all that away, then Verdansk has to go because Verdansk is built around busting through doors, breaking glass, tactical sprinting from point A to point B because those distances are so specific, and mounting on top of a wall because wall heights are so specific.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to change. Verdansk is gonna have to be gone if this gameplay comes over, or they're just gonna keep the Modern Warfare gameplay in Warzone and leave the Cold War gameplay in the multiplayer for like CDL and people who want to play that mode.
Yeah, I feel like there might be 3 options here. And one is they add the guns from Call of Duty Cold War into the Modern Warfare game, and it still plays the exact same, and they just even stay in Verdansk. The other option is they change all of the gameplay, move it to a different map, or they just have another map, but it's still the Modern Warfare gameplay, and the Cold War guns are still there. So I don't know which one they're going to choose. I don't know what our preferences would be. I kind of feel like keeping the Warzone gameplay the same would be most of our preferences.
I wouldn't mind a refresh.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Man, do
It's
you really tinker with the formula, bro? Like, that's the question now. It's like, are you really gonna mess with the formula? Isn't this what we wanted here? Like, this seems like such a weird idea that they just want to change it up all the time with the new game. That's weird.
from what I saw it as, I thought they were gonna change like the theme of it and keep the gameplay the same. Because I don't think they'll bring back the old gameplay from like Black Ops into this Warzone. Because then at that point, it's gonna feel like a Blackout.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
that's
pretty
probably
much
true.
be Blackout if they do that and change the gameplay mechanics, which I hope they don't. So and from the alpha, it felt like we booted up another game when we clicked on Warzone. But then again, that's just an alpha, so we don't know if that's like officially the thing that's gonna happen. We'll boot up another
Yes.
game for that.
Like, I guess the interesting thing for me is what Kevin mentions, like mechanics, and that's such like you can boil that down in so many different ways. But what makes Warzone is the contracts, the buy stations, the way that armor works, the way that you're never in a menu fucking around with attachments or doing anything like that with your gun, and the way that
Loadouts.
the way that the game keeps you moving. That's what makes Warzone. If they want to tinker with doors and mounting and tactical sprint, I'm all for that. But don't take away the other
Those
things
other
that
things.
the other things that make Warzone great, which is the armor, which is the momentum of looting and not being in a menu like you are in Apex or you were in Blackout or PUBG. So I think if they don't tinker with those core mechanics of the movement and the momentum and the way that Warzone keeps you going from point A to point B no matter what, then sure, you can tinker around with doors and mounting and sprint. I don't care.
I could see that. Yeah, I think it would still be a good. I don't know if we'll see if we like it as much if they do that, but it's definitely going to be a change, and I do think at some point they're going to need to add a new map, and this would be the optimal time to do it probably, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, my thoughts is you keep everything the same. We just create you a map that is themed around your video game. So that's Cold War. We'll make it just look kind of like that era, but we still keep everything. That's my dream here. Because when I start to really unravel, like, hey, is this the right move to start tinkering and changing the whole formula of Warzone, which is like one of the best games that we've ever played in the battle royale space, I'm not too pleased with the idea, you know.
For
So I
sure.
get worried about that.
Yeah, the only time I think they'll change the mechanics of gameplay will be the next Modern Warfare, or whatever they add to that.
Oh, sure.
Because that's
Yeah,
the
that makes
same.
sense.
That'll be the same feel as Warzone right now. So I don't think they want to change it from the different game that another studio is working on. Even though Raven's working on their multiplayer, they're using a different they're using a different engine because Treyarch uses their own Treyarch engine, and then Infinity War uses their Infinity War 8.0 engine. And it's different. They have a different feel.
They do feel different, and like really, when you boil it down to the alpha that we played, it's just like, oh, this doesn't feel like Warzone. This doesn't feel like Modern Warfare. There's health bars. The time to kill is different. Throwing grenades feels way off. So I think that, maybe they get out in front of it and they say, like, look, these are two different modes. Warzone's going to play like Warzone. Multiplayer is going to play like Cold War multiplayer. And that's what it's going to be. But what's interesting to me is then they have a nightmare of a balancing act on their hands when they do want to bring these Cold War guns over to Warzone. How's that going to work when in one mode you can mount and in the other mode you can't? In one mode
Oh,
you
that's
can,
a good question,
like
actually.
in one mode you can close distances with tactical sprint, and in the other mode you can't. In one mode you have to make an animation for busting through a door with this weapon, when in the other mode that doesn't exist. So I don't know how they're going to do it, man. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. And I mean, honestly, all we can do is sit here and speculate because nobody knows.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting. And I'm very excited to see what happens. And according to one of the developers of Black Ops Cold War, they have put in a lot of different changes for the beta that's going to be in a couple weeks. So we will see how it feels then. Get back to you on that. But also on Tuesday, we're heading into season 6 of Warzone, where they're adding a subway system and 2 new guns. And at this point, I think that's about all we know. And then that could be the last Modern Warfare season. It's a very good question. But how did we feel about season 5 as a whole? Do we think we're going to play as much season 6?
I mean, we didn't play a whole lot of season 5, for being
I
honest.
agree with you.
We sort of fell off about, I would say, a third of the way through the season. And yeah, we played last night. We've played a couple nights here and there, but we are not grinding it out like we once were. It depends on how big of a refresh season 6 is. That's where I stand. What you want to do going forward.
Kevin, thoughts?
How much have we played? Yeah, how much have we played of season 5?
I mean, after we got that 100th win, I think we kind of like cut it off because it was like a horrible drag winning games at that point, and we were getting
Horrible
throttled
drag.
constantly.
Throttled.
Yeah.
Cheaters galore. Cheaters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And last night it felt good, and we were succeeding to a certain degree more than we weren't getting throttled like we were. We'd get like to the mid game, we'd get our loadouts. Like that was unheard of. Like when we were trying to go for that 100th win.
Yeah.
I felt coming into this season, I wasn't too excited either way. Like, what did they add to this season? Was this the train one?
Stadium and the train, and that's kind of it.
I guess it was. Yeah, at first it was exciting, but after that, I think the season pass, like what I got from season pass, made me think, man, I don't like this season pass. So this season felt all right, but like having the stadium open up and the train being there too, kind of like made it so
Lost its luster.
Well, it made it like a so-so season instead of being a bad season. But since this next season will add subways, I wonder how that's gonna change up the gameplay. They added in a lot of transportation type ways to get around the map now. This is interesting.
Yeah.
And they just and you might have to use the trains and subways because they kind of nerfed the cars. So like it's kind of it feels a lot like, what did I call it earlier? It felt more. Damn, what was that word in this head?
Floaty.
Floaty. There we go. Yeah, it felt a lot of floaty. Yeah. It didn't feel right. Like I was like, Yeah, it was hard to turn and stuff like that. Yeah. So people might be using those transportation methods a lot more than.
I think with season 5, it's like, oh, the stadium's open and that's super cool. And that was like the hottest place to land for 2 weeks. But if you go land at stadium right now, it probably is going to be empty. There's not much reason to like want to land there at this moment in time, I think. So everyone's done the secret rooms and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't seem like that much of a hot spot as I thought it would be. Maybe there's just not enough loot, or not the loot's too spread out. I think we might have had like 1 or 2 games end in that area, so that kind of like mixed it up a little bit. But overall, I would say like it just didn't change it as much as we had hoped, I guess. And we might
Yeah.
need some bigger changes or a new map at some point to like really mix this thing up.
And I was a little disappointed there, Maddock, when I really look back on it. How many final circle stadium fights did I really get? I got 0. I might have gotten like 1 outside in the front, but like I never felt like the circle ever like pushed me towards that at the end, where I was like I could have a really memorable moment in the stadium. All my moments in the stadium were never that memorable.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can't think of
The
it.
only memorable one we have is like figuring out the code to get in the room.
Yeah, and we got a juggernaut out
And we got
there,
a juggernaut.
which was dope, and we won the game, But like
yeah.
the issue is like when you put in something new, like or if like you have a prison that you want to show off, like just push the final circle over there a couple of times, or just increase
sure.
that. Like let's go over there and have some fun. I'm a little disappointed. I never really got to fight it out at stadium at the end.
Yeah, I guess we're forgetting a lot of our juggernaut games and stuff like that, but I guess those were fine for like 1 weekend's worth of entertainment, and I guess overall the season was kind of just here or there.
I think a lot of it has to do with Fall Guys coming out. Honestly, you know what I mean. Like, it is fall. There's a lot of games coming
Whoa, I
out,
didn't
a
hear
lot
that.
of games that are, vying for our attention, and getting sweaty in Warzone is a lot harder now when you have this other option over on Steam called Fall Guys, and you can just go sort of kick back and play this casual game that does have a competitive element to it and get crowns without trying to lean forward in your chair and wear a headband. You know what I mean? I think that's part of it, and I think part of it is like just some burnout, maybe on our part, and we played this game a whole lot in seasons 3 and 4, and maybe we just want to not, bring that level of intensity every night that Warzone really does require. So, yeah, I'm hoping in season 6 we see some bigger changes to, they've added another train to the map or this or that, and what comes to my mind is like, what's gonna be that one item in the store, or like that one skin on the battle pass that really makes me want to grind that? Because so far Call of Duty has had none of that.
None of them.
Like everything on the battle pass is like, I can take it or leave it. I really don't care. They're like, right now, if you look at Fortnite, there's like Iron Man over there on the battle pass. It's like, oh, I want that. You know what I mean?
That's like
What's
every once in a while you get that though for Fortnite.
Yeah, but like, what's Call of
Yeah.
Duty gonna do that makes me say, oh, I want that, so I want to grind this battle pass? Put Punisher on there. The reason like they're not getting these deals is because it is an M-rated game, and maybe these other big companies are sort of hesitant to do crossovers on the Call of Duty side.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to see a little bit more out of Warzone, especially in season 6, as we wind down the sort of modern warfare era of it. If I want to put a whole lot of hours into it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We'll see. I feel like maybe I'll just play more just in case, unless we get more information about like what's happening with the transition. I might play more just to like get that one last modern warfare season out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll see. Anyone else have any thoughts on Call of Duty or anything like that?
Dude, the
I'm just
game
ex-
sucks, dude. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm excited
the
to see where it
game-
goes.
The game, yeah, exactly, Washburn. This is one of the best battle royales on the market, and this is going to be a very interesting moment for it because we've never seen a battle royale like this have an opportunity where it's like, yo, we have another team making a different kind of Call of Duty game, and we're going to somehow incorporate that into this perfect battle royale. Normally, we just see a new map and everybody would continue on their way, right? But they might just do something totally different, which is the most exciting piece of news for Call of Duty right now.
Yep.
Let's
All
go.
right.
Mhm.
So next week we are going to talk about two things mainly: Season 6 of Call of Duty, obviously, and we're going to the Star Wars Squad Podrons.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
Quadrants. Oh, that's
I'm
the name of the
about
game.
I'm about to be the best pilot out in the
Yes.
galaxy. Y'all have never seen anything like it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're all
looking
getting VR
forward.
headsets to play it. Or what's up with that? Dude?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Good
We're hitting
lord.
up that EA Play, EA Access thing, and we're playing
Getting
our 10 hours of
3 hours
free
of the-
trial.
Yeah, 100% getting my 10 free hours of this before I never play it again.
It'll be interesting to see how that plays. But until next time, Kevin.
What? Oh, we're wrapping up.
Yeah,
so
we're wrapping up, Kevin.
what was it? Do it again. Do it again. Do it all over again.
But
Rewind
until
it.
next time, Kevin.
Squad out. What was it again?
Comms out.
Comms
Kevin.
out. That's what it was. I forgot.